It's Friday, the weekend is here, and with this video, I wanted to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover today includes my reaction to PlayStation VR2 so far. I know you guys have wanted to know what I've played, first impressions, so we're going to talk about that today. Sony's next phase of PlayStation 5 with a big showcase coming soon from the same leaker who leaked the State of Play, yesterday's State of Play recap and smaller PlayStation VR2 news, and the MGS3 remake and what's next. First, from 1 to 10, what would you rate the State of Play from yesterday? The show was okay, in my opinion. We'll look into that in a sec, but before that, what would you rate the show? So comment below from 1 to 10, what would your rating be for yesterday's State of Play? Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the first story of the video, the State of Play from yesterday. So to keep it quick, what was at the show was exactly what Sony said would be there, but I'm going to go over some of the highlights from the show. PSVR2 got some reveals with the fog lens, which looks great, Synapse, which also looks great, and considering it's from the Fract creators, I'm in day one. Journey to Foundation is also another interesting game. Outside of those, you also have Green Hill VR that was announced there as well. Moving away from VR, we learned that indie title Chia will be coming to PlayStation Plus next month in March, and Sony decided to reveal their essential and extra lineups as well for March with titles like Battlefield 2042, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, which is a big one to be on there, Ghostwire Tokyo, and other titles will be there in March. It looks like a pretty big month for PlayStation Plus for a lot of people. I'm curious what Premium is getting for their classic service. Sony didn't really say here. We haven't gotten information there. Outside of that, we got a new look at Resident Evil 4 Remake, which looks amazing, and a longer look at Suicide Squad, which to me looks similar to Gotham Knights. I got people pushing back on that, but there was also a lot of people who agreed that it kind of looks like Gotham Knights, and honestly, it doesn't look as interesting right now. 4-player co-op focused games tend to have repetitive gameplay, but I'll sit here to check out more before I make, of course, final judgments. Those were the highlights for me from yesterday's State of Play. Now, diving into the second story of the video, my reaction to PlayStation VR 2. So, first of all, my apologies for not streaming. I really wanted to. I was trying to, but I kept running into issues with setting up the whole situation. VR streaming is a different ball game than just, streaming an event. And did you know that you don't even see chat comments in PlayStation VR 2 inside of the headset? I hoped you would, because otherwise I would have just been sitting there taking this headset off and putting it on just to see what the chat says, and I don't know how comfortable of an experience that is. This doesn't mean I won't try again in the future. I just have to figure it out. But getting back to the first impressions, this isn't going to be, of course, very deep, but I'll go over my thoughts so far for the PlayStation VR 2 headset itself. Horizon Call of the Mountain, After the Fall, Zombieland, Headshot Fever, Reloaded. Let's get into the headset itself. So far, I'm loving PlayStation VR 2. If you follow me on Twitter, you'd know this. The setup is easy. Plugging in one wire and taking it out is so good. The displays are sharp, coming from PlayStation VR 1. The haptics on the controller are amazing, along with the adaptive triggers that feel right at home in VR. All VR headsets should have it. The head haptics are stronger than I thought they'd be. People made them out to be little vibrations, but no, there's a good level of haptics here, or I'm just really sensitive on my head. Jumping on some of the negatives, while I don't have an issue with the wire for the most part, there are times where I feel it. Just to make it clear here, the majority of my playtime, I don't think about the wire. It's just sometimes, especially when I'm twisting around a good amount, I notice it's there. Outside of that, while the headset is comfortable to put on, for me, I get a bit of pressure feeling on the front of my head after an extended period of play. I play this thing a lot, so others might not feel the same. What helps is, of course, to just loosen up the headset from time to time. I've heard some people have blurriness issues, but you just have to adjust your headset to get to that right spot. Outside of that, adjust your IPD again, which is the dial on the headset, or readjust your eye tracking as well, because the picture on my end looks great, and when it doesn't, it's just a matter of adjusting the headset until it hits right. Moving over to Horizon Call of the Mountain. This game is gorgeous from top to bottom. This is the prettiest game I've played in VR. I haven't tried GT7 and RE8 yet, but so far right now, this is the prettiest game in VR. I'd stop multiple times just to look around. The combat is fun and intense. It's definitely a workout. The climbing is great so far, but I can see how it could get a bit much after a while of playing the game. I'm still enjoying it so far, but we'll see how it goes later on. The story is simple here, but I'll be honest, I'm not really tuned in to the story. Moving over to After the Fall, the game was a solid example of just the difference between Quest 2 and PlayStation VR2. The leap in visuals are crazy to notice. Add in head haptics, controller haptics, and adaptive triggers. This becomes the best version of After the Fall. Next up is Zombie Land Headshot Fever Reloaded, which is another game that landed on the Quest first, of course, before PlayStation VR2. And the studio did a great job of overhauling the game for PlayStation VR2 with the big bump in visuals, with that new art style, also adding head haptics, controller haptics, and adaptive triggers. It's also one of those games you can just kind of dive into, do a level, and go do something else. It's quick and it's enjoyable so far. And on PlayStation VR2, again, looks to be the best version of the game. I want to do full mini reviews of these games on the channel. I'm just not sure if you guys are into that. But you guys can let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. Comment yes or no if you'd check out full mini reviews of some of these games on the channel or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, the next phase of PlayStation. So this is a quick story. Jeff Grubb, the same person who leaked the state of play that we just had, has come out again to state that Sony is set to have a massive, his words, massive PlayStation showcase before E3 this year, and it'll have a number of first-party reveals setting up the second phase of PlayStation 5. Apparently, the show was supposed to happen in the fall of last year, so September, like we assumed, but the developers weren't ready to show off their games just yet. I'm assuming this might be largely about Spider-Man 2, maybe. Right now, it's scheduled for right before E3, but there is no specific date just yet. It's finally time. This is most likely where we're going to see the Spider-Man 2 trailer. Maybe a better look at Wolverine. Factions 2 will probably be there, although I hoped we'd hear more about it earlier. There's still time, hopefully after the Last of Us show ends, maybe they could tease Factions 2 or something there. Haven Studios' next game could be there, or their first game. Sony London's next game maybe could be there. Ben Studios' game could be there. Sucker Punch's next game could be there. There's just so much that could be there. It's just crazy, and I can't personally wait. I'll be live streaming this one for sure. Now, diving into the final story of the video, the MGS3 remake. This is another short story here. VGC reports that Konami plans to have a big E3 this year with a new Castlevania, not a remake it seems, and the MGS3 remake planned to be there as well. Those are big titles, but the one people are waiting for on the PlayStation side of things is, of course, the MGS1 remake. Apparently, according to VGC, MGS3 remake is the test bed for what comes next. You'd assume MGS1 would be that, but I assume this test bed is if we could get other remakes from other Konami franchises, if that's a viable option for them. The MGS1 remake is up in the air right now, but it would be crazy to see it at the PlayStation Showcase since it's rumored to be in development by Sony's own Bluepoint Games. There's a lot of exciting things ahead for PlayStation, but you guys let me know if you're excited for an MGS3 remake and a new Castlevania. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with Bring On the Showcase. Finally, it's almost time. It looks like May, April, one of these months is going to have this showcase before June, which is E3 time. I'm excited. If you are as well, destroy the comment section with Bring On the Showcase, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.